The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus saw the crowds, he felt sorry for them because they were harassed and dejected, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is rich, but the laborers are few. So ask the Lord of the harvest to send laborers to his harvest." He summoned his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits, with the power to cast them out and to cure all kinds of diseases and sickness. These are the names of the 12 apostles. First, Simon, who is called Peter, and his brother Andrew, James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew, the tax collector, James, the son of Alphaeus, and Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, the one who was to betray him. These 12 sent out, instructing them as follows: "Do not turn your steps to pagan territory, and do not enter any Samaritan town. Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and as you go, proclaim that the kingdom of heaven is close at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out devils. You receive without charge, give without charge." The Gospel of the Lord. So I have to stay an appreciable distance so my boulders don't reach me. So this is good distance. Keep safe. My boulders will fall to the ground before they reach you. Huh? Today as we return to the house of the Lord, we are given this beautiful reading from the Gospel of Matthew. But even before that, a reading that God calls and what Jesus calls and sends. But in the first reading, we hear the God of Jacob and the God of Isaac. But you know who Jacob was? Huh? Jacob was a scamp. Jacob was an old thief, a trickster. That's who Jacob was. Imagine that. Imagine who Jacob was. Remember, Jacob tricked even from his birth. As the old people say, he's bad from birth. Even from birth, he and his brother Esau was the older one. And when Esau was coming out first, he pulled back Esau and he went out from his mother's womb. And so he was the second son. And when the father was dying, and he was supposed to be blessed, he tricked his father and made his father bless him instead, and had Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of peas. And what did he do to his father-in-law? He tricked his father-in-law as well. So in our Trinidad terms, he was a smart man. He was a scamp. But it is in spite of him being a scamp and loving his skullduggery, God calls him. That's strange, eh? God calls him. And not only does God call him, God identifies him. His name is associated with the God of Jacob. God has the audacity to identify himself with Jacob. Some people, you don't want nobody to know you know them. When they call you out in a crowd, you hold your head straight because you know their character. You don't even want anybody to associate with, know you associated with. That's Jacob. And yet God associates with him. God takes him. Why? My dear friends, because God is able to use any human being. Any human being God is able to use. And so God He called Jacob. And he called Jacob for a mission and for a purpose. In spite of his limitations, in spite of his weaknesses, in spite of his past, in spite of his history, in spite of all that he had done, God did not look at that, but God looked at his past. And Jacob will make that journey that will lead him to a place where he will come to the river, where he will struggle with God all night. He will fight with God all night. And he fought with this person as he was going back home after leaving his father-in-law and going back home with his wife, having banded his father-in-law, and so he had wealth, he had sheep and goat and cattle and wife and servants and everything. But as he was making his journey back home, what happened? He struggles with this unknown person who battles with him all through the night. And just as the person was about to leave, he said, I'm not letting you go until you bless me. In a real sense, that struggle is all of us. All of us who are called really to battle with our limitations, with our shadow, with the dark side of who we are. We are all battling with that. And Jacob battles with that. He has to confront himself. He has to confront all the wicked things he did. He has to confront all the facts that he did in his life, and he had to face it. And in so facing it, he struggles with it. And it is this struggle that the man wounds him. So he's wounded as his hip he walks with a limp after. And that wound entails what Jacob went through in facing his own reality, in facing his limitation, in facing his past, in facing all that he had done. My dear friends, once we are willing and open to confronting those most hideous things in our lives and confronting it with God, then God has a work for us to do. All of us. And so here Jacob comes face to face with God. To come face to face with God is to come face to face with yourself. When we confront God, the text says, when we see God, we will see him as he really is, and we will come to know ourselves. To come face to face with God is to come face to face with ourselves, with our reality. Is to deal with the things that we don't really want to deal with. And it is to bring reconciliation to ourselves. And that's what the journey that Jacob made. And as Jacob makes this journey, he comes to a place where he crosses over on another side. So it's a symbolic river in which Jacob crosses over from one side to the next. He makes a change. He changes the direction of his life. He changes the direction in which he is going. And now he brings himself to a place of commitment and to walk after the ways of God. Every one of us has to make a journey of discipleship, where we will have to confront ourselves and make a decision if we want to continue in our skullduggery ways, or if we want to live a life of authenticity and integrity in striving to follow after God. The disciples were no different. You had Matthew, the tax collector who stole people's money. You had Peter, who had a very short temper, impatient. Don't remind me of anybody. We had the zealot, who was a terrorist, the zealots were people who would wait for the Romans, and as the Romans passed, would nip them off one by one. You had Thomas, who doubted Jesus' resurrection. You had James and John, who were fighting to be on Jesus' left side and right side. Every single one of the disciples had their own weakness, limitation, and struggle. Every one of them. And guess what? God called them. You have any weaknesses? Huh? The master on your face, I hear and Alice, keep your bold hands, let me hear you. You have any weaknesses? Huh? We all do. And that does not mean to say God is not going to call us. More so, God is going to call us and send us. And this is what happens here in the gospel. In spite of all the weaknesses of the disciples, men like you and I, men who had their own history, their own past, their own limitation, who had their own skeletons, men who were striving after the ways of God but were not theirs yet, God called them. What is significant about this call and this response? Firstly, God calls them to himself. And secondly, it must be something that we open our hearts to do. We don't change ourselves. It is when we battle with God. It is when we battle with God, there is where we are transformed. Not to the devil. An old monk said, a young man said, he asked me, how it is he has been able to be holy. And he said, well, when I was young, I used to be fighting against the devil. But now, I am old, I'm tired, and the devil tired. And so now, I fight with God. And that's really our struggle. Our fight is not with the devil, but with God. That would lead us to a place where we can become like him. Because at the end of the day, Jesus calls us to himself. The transformation he will bring about. The transformation he will bring about. He knows it. He knows who you are. He knows that all your weaknesses, he knows your limitations, he knows what you are able and not able to do. Yet, he calls you. He calls you because there's a purpose for you. He calls you because he wants to give you what you need. And so, my dear friends, as we begin once again our church, as we begin the Christian community, we hear God, Jesus is calling each one of us. And he's also listening well for the excuses. I have no time, I'm busy, and I can't do this. This too hard, this too long, Father too miserable. All the excuses. God is calling each one of us. Each one of us. Because he has a purpose for you. Every disciple is called to God, to Christ, and then sent. And here Jesus is sending out the disciples. And that's what Jesus is saying. The harvest is rich, but the laborers are lazy. The harvest is rich, but the laborers are lazy. They don't want to work. The laborers don't want to work. But the harvest is rich. There's much work to be done. And there's much people to experience God's blessing. And so, my dear friends, as we gather once again as church, we gather to go out. We gather to get comfortable. We gather to go out. We gather to go out to do what Jesus commands his disciples. I am giving you all power and authority against unclean spirits, to cast them out and to cure all kinds of diseases and sicknesses. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out devils. You receive without charge, give without charge. The Lord calls you. And now the Lord is sending you. The Lord is sending you. Each one of us must make a commitment to go today. To go to those who need to hear a word of encouragement, of hope, and of love. To go, because we have received tremendous blessings, and the Lord wants us in turn to communicate these blessings to others. What God wants is you.